My name is Robert Caples, and I'm running for sheriff of Hidalgo County. I know a lot of you folks in here. Some of you don't know me, so I feel like I need to give you a little bit of background. I was born and raised here in Hidalgo County. I lived most of my life in McAllen. I graduated from Memorial High School in 1988, and then I went off to college. That university was called the United States Marine Corps, and I learned some fine arts, marksmanship, jumping out of airplanes, that sort of thing. I have my boys here with me, and their beautiful mother. They're sitting right over here. I want to go back a little bit. I wanted to thank Sergeant Mary Silva for inviting me because I actually do not have an opponent in the upcoming elections. My elections are in November, and but I still appreciate the opportunity to come speak in front of all you folks. I haven't talked in front of these many cops in probably 8 years when I was an instructor. My oldest son Tyler, he's 17. He leaves for the Marine Corps this summer. My middle son, Zachary, he's 16 years old. He is my football player, and he wants to play college football and to become a Marine also. And then there's my little one, Brandon, who likes to be called Mr. P. He is 8 years old, and all indications are that he wants to be a Jedi warrior. And I support anything they want to do. So. After I came back from the Marine Corps, came back with some medals. I'm also a recipient of the coveted Marine Gold Wings. I have over 250 logged parachute jumps and airborne missions. I served in all places, all over the place, overseas. I saw action in the Philippines when Colonel Rowe was killed. I saw action in Operation Desert Storm, Desert Shield, in the Persian Gulf War. Received medals for that. When I came back in 1992, I decided that I wanted to be a police officer. So I paid my own way through an academy, went to school at night, worked 2 jobs during the day. My first job assignment was, or peace officer assignment, was with the Precinct 3 Constable's office. Then I started to work with the Sheriff's Office as a detention officer. Moved up from there 2 years later to Deputy Sheriff. And back then, there were some very stringent hiring protocol. You had to go through a lot of testing. You had to go through an oral board. Everything depended on criteria, depended on years in service and how much knowledge you had, and how you got the job done. In 1995, I was moved from detention over to patrol as a deputy sheriff, like I said. I spent 2 years on patrol there. And then again, I tested for sergeant. I went through a very rigorous testing process. And I became one of the youngest, shortest serving sergeants in the history of the Sheriff's Office. And I knew nobody there, had no connections, knew nobody. Didn't have to brown nose anybody. I just got promoted based on what I did. I'd worked patrol. I was assigned to. I was asked to help create a new SWAT team for the Sheriff's Office. We did that. Eventually, I became the Alpha team leader. We had a lot of experience, a lot of operations, including hostage rescue. In 2002, I was asked to go work for the Sheriff's Academy because they were about to hire 250 new employees for the new Sheriff's Office. I put together a team, and we recruited, tested, and trained 1,253 people for those positions. We mostly recruited a lot of military folks, and in fact, some of them are still there, so if you got a lot of military folks working at the Sheriff's Office, you're welcome. And in 2004, I had to leave the sheriff's office, which leads me to my next topic. One of the reasons I decided to run for sheriff is because there exists a system in this county that is not equal in enforcing the laws and justice on every citizen in this county. And I'm tired of it. It is time that we take the reins and show some of these politicians that we're not going to sit down and just take it and let them do whatever they want with us. We need the kind of leadership where every citizen is equal, where if you're the bad guy and you get found guilty or not, that's what it is. And if you're the good guy and you're found guilty or not, that should be what it is. You cannot have a public official who disagrees and says, you were found not guilty, I say you're still guilty. That kind of leadership cannot be trusted to enforce the laws equally on all of us. It doesn't work like that. The other reason I decided to run is because I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. Okay? I do not believe for 1 second that Hidalgo County, the fastest growing metropolitan area in America, has a decrease in crime. I don't think so. You can ask any of the peace officers who are actually out in the street. I talk to McAllen PD all the time. I talk to sheriff's deputies. A lot of them are here tonight. People I keep in constant contact with. I'm not going to point you out. Chill out. And the reason I'm not is because it's a sad time in democracy when you cannot openly support the person that you want without fear of retaliation and oppression. Sure. Yeah. The crime statistics that have been put out by several entities actually here, not just in Hidalgo County, but all over the valley, they just don't jive. I have case files, and I didn't steal them. Somebody gave me a copy of them. I have case files of aggravated kidnappings that have never been worked as such since January of this year. And the one that happened a couple of days ago is supposed to be our first one. I don't think so. And I don't care if Janet Napolitano comes back down here and people feed her a bunch of crap. The truth is that you have been fed what they wanted you to hear. The crime in Hidalgo County has not decreased. It has gotten worse. And I challenge you to ask any of the deputies that you know, ask them. Ask the police officers in McAllen if there's been a decrease in crime. Because they will tell you that what you're talking about is crime fighting on paper. They have to go out and do it for real. I want to provide the kind of leadership that creates a proactive law enforcement approach to fighting crime in this county. I'm not going to fight crime on paper. I'm not scared of any thugs. I can stand here and tell you with no problem that I cannot be bought. And I will provide the kind of leadership that hunts down these cartels like the animals that they are and bring them to justice. There is no reason why our peace officers should be alienated from their own agency because of what they believe. There's no reason why one leader should alienate all the other agencies, especially at a time like this. The intel out there is that the cartels are gearing up to take you on. And I want to create the kind of cooperation between the agencies that allows for every single peace officer in this county to go out and patrol in the streets with the assurance and confidence that they will never be outnumbered or outgunned by any group of thugs. The other kind of leadership that I want to provide is the kind that brings all police agencies together. I have always said since my days as an instructor that police officers need to work more like firefighters. Firefighters don't argue about jurisdictional lines, and they don't have power trips. They just want to put the fire out. And that's what we should be doing. We need to just put the fire out. I have been asked a lot. Collective bargaining. People keep asking me about that. If there was ever an agency in Hidalgo County that needed collective bargaining, it is the Hidalgo County Sheriff's Office. Because your step pay and vehicles and everything else in the future is going to be held hostage depending on the politics and who the hell you're going to support. And the last thing I want to say is that the favoritism, the cover-ups, the oppression, it all ends on January 1st, 2013. And if you're one of those people that oppressed the troops in the 8 years since I've been gone, don't be in that formation. Thank you.